Hello, beautiful soul, and welcome to the Little Reader's house. I'm the Little Reader, and you have wandered, deliberately entered, or magically manifested inside of my house, which is exactly where you belong. So get cozy, get comfy. It's a place of love, it's a place of peace, and it's a place that inspires you to remember that you contain all that you need right now. No steps required. Now. So, get cozy, get comf. I myself have a suspicious tasting cup of mushroom coffee here. I'm getting reacquainted with the flavor of it. It's not hitting, as the kids say, yet. But if I learn to love it, I will share its name. The inspo already came in, actually days before this little vessel sat down before you to talk. Fortunately, due to the title, you already know what we're talking about. But so often we land in this place, you and I, and at the time of broadcasting, I have no idea what's going to come out. But today, we know. It's inspiration, baby. It's spirit's guide for riding the wave of inspiration. And it's incredibly simple. The beginning of this premise goes as follows, my sweet friend. Sip your coffee, if you've got some. Here, we'll do it together. Cheers. Yeah, well, we're going to keep meditating on that, but the premise is simple. You can't mess this life up, my sweet friend. You do not have the power to do so. That which you call you, the patterning, the body, I like to refer to it as the form, the mind, even the heart, will always be in alignment with the perfect existential tapestry created by the great all that is. So every time we think we're making mistakes, we're self-sabotaging, we are destructing either self or others, all those judgment calls made by the mind are made from the mind's limited perspective. Once we drop into the heart, once we develop a meditation practice, once we start to shift our identity away from the temporal, soon to pass aspects, into the permanent, ever-present white light of awareness that resides within, as soon as we practice making that shift, we begin to realize, I can relax. Little me is not in charge and never was. And that comes with its own series of shifts. But that's our operating premise. Once you've settled into that as a possibility, don't believe it. Don't cling to it. Don't attach. In fact, my personal suggestion is that you develop a practice and experience firsthand. Once you're ready, we can now shift into talk of inspiration. And this is especially sent lovingly to creators of all kinds. Creation is a process of the heart. Construction is a process of the mind. Both work in perfect harmony with the totality of this existence. So have no fear. Excellent. If you want to be a creative, if you're already a creative, if you have a heart and it beats, if you fall into any of those three categories, then you're right where you're meant to be. Recently, you may have been running up against blocks, or creator's existential dread, which is the fear of the process, fear during the process, or fear after the process of creating. And that fear can stop you, it can hinder you, it can slow you down. It can make you what you may judge yourself to be, a wannabe. Well, I've never set pen to paper. Like I'm highly imaginative, but it never turns into a complete and finished project. It never goes from half-formed reality up here to fully formed reality where we can touch it, taste it, smell it, see it. Did I miss anything? Hear it. As waves and waves of human beings shift toward their creative potential at this time, Spirit assures us this is, once again, natural, perfect. If you can believe it, preordained. Even the struggles, the fears, the anxiety around creation, the resistance to the process itself, the inability to create, so perceived, so-called inability to create, all of that resistance and fear and dread is, from the divine's point of view, a flawless part of the package. So let's release shame and guilt when it comes to the creative process right now. You're not in charge, beautiful soul. And if you're from the States, the United States of America, like I myself am, that may be abrasive. Because here in the United States of America, we are particularly enculturated to believe that we are completely in charge of our destiny. Interestingly, that flies in the face of the principles of this human experience as we know it. If you're interested in more of that, check out our transmission on free will. Once we've released guilt and shame for being unable to create, for being blocked, for being confused, why can't I monetize my creations already? Why can't I finish a book? Why can't I start a book? Why can't I write a drawing? Oh, why does no one respond well to what really did come out of my heart? Once we've let go of guilt and shame, and that may be a deeper practice that involves you sitting in silence with your heart, communing. We've got resources down below for that. Once we let that go, we can sit and prepare to make love to inspiration. Inspiration, the fuel for explosive creativity. Atomic creativity. Someone write that down. Atomic creativity. Here's Spirit's insight on inspiration. If you can act on it immediately when it arises within you, do so. If your ability to act on it is limited because of the environment you find yourself in, and you can't remove yourself from that environment to act on it in any capacity, you can't scribble it down on a notepad. You can't voice memo it into your phone. You can't share it with a colleague. If you're truly hands tied, unable to act on the inspiration based on where you are when you receive it, let it go. Let it go, beautiful soul. The divine recognizes in humanity this immense amount of guilt and shame surrounding the relationship between our hearts and inspiration. Shame for not acting on inspiration when it arose. Guilt for not putting in effort to walk something out of the realm of half form, the mind, into the realm of form. That means putting words to paper, putting lyrics to melodies, sharing big ideas, small ideas, sitting in front of a camera. So many souls are grieving, mourning, and self-hating because of creative and inspirational impotence. But Spirit is here today, talking through this little vessel, to tell beautiful you, you've done nothing wrong. And this scarcity mentality around inspiration and creativity has just timed out for you. It's not to be part of your patterns anymore. You can let it go. Goodbye. If you were meant to create it, you would have. You got a little sneak preview. It passed through your mental realm. It erupted from your heart. And then it sizzled and moved on. Another soul will pick it up and create it. Have no fear. And because this is an abundant, infinite universe where nothing goes wrong outside of the mental judgments of a select species called humanity, you cannot mess up the creative process. And you can never, ever, ever run out of ideas or inspiration. Spirit also sees so many humans returning to old ideas, trying to resurrect them. They felt the inspiration when the idea initially arose, but then they back-pocketed it, stored it as a memory. Days, months, years, decades later, they begin to resurrect it, attempt to resurrect it. But this time the inspiration doesn't flow. Let it go. Let it go. Let go of the old ideas. Let go of the old inspirations. They felt so good when they settled in the heart. But then, because they weren't acted upon, the essence of life within them got transferred somewhere else. Yes, to an individual who would act upon it. That's okay. That means that you can clear your heart of those old ideas. Let them go. And open yourself for new ones. If you could see the amount of inspirational ideas that are pushing through at every moment, waiting to land in the hearts and minds of humans, it would be overwhelming to the mind. And it would be ecstasy for the heart. All's they're looking for, those living entities we call ideas and inspirations, are a trusting, peaceful, receptive vessel that is in no rush, that is in no state of desperation, that is in a state of peace, cultivated in the heart. That's you. That's you right this hot second, not tomorrow, not yesterday, not later today, now. Breathe. That's always you, it's always been you. Breathing into the center of your chest. Relaxing into the moment, melting into the here and now. You're ready for the ideas, the inspirations that set your form on fire. And the inspiration that is meant to move you, beautiful soul, will move you. You take on too much. You believe too much in the power of the temporal, passing form, and forget the true identity is the eternal, animating light. A small little shift in awareness, is all it takes. A sound effect free of charge. To provide you with the peace to receive and the knowingness to act. So surrender a little bit. In simple, literal, human terms, stop beating yourself up, you beautiful creative. It will come together when it comes. You will be inspired when you're inspired. You will catch and ride that wave and complete the project in the perfect timing, whether it takes you 5 minutes or 15 years. To allow the mind to run the creative process when it has no idea what creation is. The mind can only construct existing pieces. It's a painful experience. So we gently learn how to reroute our awareness from the mind to the heart. And let this creative palace take control. And what this creative palace does is alchemize things within you. Create newness in terms of sensation, feeling, and energy. And then pass that along to the mind to assemble. The moment we try to reverse engineer the creative process, use the mind to identify what we believe will be successful pieces of material to assemble something that will be well received, the constructive process, much different, much less blissful, as it closes the door to the heart where bliss originates. So once again, a practice of moving your awareness into your heart becomes a beautiful soul. We've got all the links for that down below to rock your world. But you don't need it. You don't need a thing. All you need to do is surrender to now, as now is, and let the magic you already possess lead the way. That is where we're leaving it today, my sweet, sweet friend. Thank you so much for being in the house. Cheers to you. Want to watch me take another sip of this? God. Uh-oh. I don't like the taste, but I like the way it makes me feel. Kind of like a meditation practice. Anyway, that's the last I'll say about that. I'm sending you all the love I've got, beautiful soul. It's always more. It's never less, because you are so very worthy of it. So very worthy. I love you. Bye for now.